Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to film a quick video review of the Dior Airflash Foundation. So this is not at all a new foundation product. In fact, this is for many people on YouTube, their holy grail foundation. And so I've had this on my wish list for a very long time, but I was holding off on picking it up because I usually try to prioritize picking up new foundations in order to review them for you guys. And this is quite a pricey foundation to pick up full price. But I recently heard that this foundation is going to be discontinued, and so I decided to snap this up before they ran out of my shade. So if you're interested in learning more about the Dior Airflash Foundation and whether it's worth all the hype, then just stick around. So let's first just start by talking about packaging. It comes in this very chic reflective silver box. Inside the foundation is in this aerosol can. It basically looks like a hairspray. And I got this in the shade 321, which corresponds to 2.5 warm olive. This foundation says that it is water resistant with 12-hour wear. So in terms of application, it says to shake for 5 seconds before use. And then it says for optimal use, spray onto the Dior Backstage Pros Buffing brush and apply in small circular motions to the face. Or hold 8 inches from your face, close your eyes to avoid splatter, and spray over the entire face. That sounds really scary to me. I'm definitely not doing that. What I have seen a lot of people do is just spray it onto a beauty blender, so that's what I'm gonna do today. So I have shaken this up, so now let's open it up. It looks basically like a hairspray bottle. And then normally I would do this over a sink, but because I want to demo this for you guys today, I have my beauty blender and then this towel, which I'll use to kind of hold it. So wish me luck. Hopefully this works out. I'm not really sure how far to spray the beauty blender from, so let's start pretty close. Okay, there we go. Ooh, can you guys hear that? I'm not really sure how much to do. Oof, okay, it does get into the air a little bit. Oh, okay, close my eyes for a sec. Oh, okay. So there's a bit of it. Oh my gosh, all right. It does sting a little bit. So if you guys are doing this at home, don't spray it at eye level. I did that for filming purposes, but would not recommend doing that normally. Okay, so let's dab this onto this side of my face. Okay, it is a little deep for my complexion right now, even though this is my summer complexion. All right, so that's that amount of foundation on this side of my face. I think that left a very, very light, subtle coverage. So I think we do need a little bit more. So this time I'm gonna spray this further from my face. Oh, and before I do so, just so you guys can see, there is some of the spray that got onto the towel, so I would recommend doing this either over a sink or with a towel. Don't just hold up your beauty blender and spray directly unless you want foundation to get all over the place. But I learned my lesson from the first time, so I'm going to do this off camera. Oh, wow, okay. This is a very messy foundation. So that time I put the towel on my desk, sprayed downward while holding onto the beauty blender. There was a lot that got onto my fingers in the process. Whew, okay, a lot more came out that time, which you guys can see. Whoa, this is a very cooling feeling foundation. Okay, maybe the first time I just really didn't get enough. Wow, this feels like icy cold on the skin. Ooh, it's actually quite nice given that it's summer right now. I do think this is going to be a pretty full coverage foundation now that I'm putting this layer on. I think you can definitely already see how perfected this side is compared to this side. And actually now I feel like the shade match is pretty good, pretty spot on. Okay, I take back what I said earlier. It just kind of looked a little bit deep straight out of can for that first spritz, but now it's looking really nice. Ooh. And I will say the finish is very flattering as well. Let me actually bring you guys in. So again, this side has it, this side has nothing. You can see on this side that I have some spots over here on my forehead, a little bit of redness on my cheeks. This side, though, looks very smooth, very perfected. Wow. Alrighty, Dior. I can see why people really like this foundation. Interesting. What do you guys think? All right, so let's spray a little bit more on this and for the other side. Okay. I don't think I got enough on that spray. Spray it again. Okay, so I realize now you do have to kind of push the spray button down all the way, because if you only push it down a little bit, you mostly get air and not that much foundation. It basically should be quite cool to touch once you put on your face. If it's not cool, then you probably only got a little bit of product out, but mainly just a bunch of air. That is interesting to note though as well, because I have heard from a lot of people that this product runs out quickly. And this does make me wonder how much of that is because there's just very little product in this. It does sort of feel like it maybe has only half this can's worth of product, which is fine. That's still a decent amount for foundation. But I wonder if part of the reason people's foundation runs out quickly is actually because the aerosol can just runs out of air instead of that all of the foundation is out. I don't know. If you guys have used this product before, let me know what your experience has been like. Alrighty, there we go. So both sides covered, and I will say this is very, very pretty. Very nice finish on the face. I do wonder, so before I tried this, my biggest question with this foundation was, is it worth the hassle of this sort of format? Like, the fact that this is an aerosol means that the shipping is restricted. They have to ship it by ground. They can't put it on a plane. It also means that it's a lot worse for the environment. And as you saw, it's not as convenient to actually use the product because you have to spray it out. I'm actually curious what this would be like spraying it onto a brush, because I feel like that could get messy. Like the foundation might get onto the ferrule or the handle instead of just the bristles. So I feel like there's a lot of inconvenience in having this in a spray can. I mean, now that I have the product on my face, I do think it looks really nice, but I wonder, like the fact that we actually spray this out so it becomes just a liquid again and then put it on our face versus, I mean, I understand if you like sprayed it like this, you'd get the full air spray effect. But given that most people I've seen do seem to spray it on a sponge, it makes me wonder, can this just be a liquid foundation? Like, could they use the same formula, but just release the liquid without all of this spray can action, and would we get the same effect? I don't know. If you guys know anything about cosmetic chemistry, please comment down below, because that's been one of my #1 questions with this product. It just seems like a lot of hassle to get this product out into a liquid form onto a sponge and then dab it on your face, versus if you just poured it out as a liquid. All complaining aside though, this looks absolutely beautiful. I can understand what the hype is. I mean, this is maybe the most beautiful my skin has looked out of really all of the recent foundations I've tried, and I've tried quite a lot of them. And also my face feels really lightweight. It doesn't really feel like there's anything on my face, but there's a really beautiful subtle dewiness to this product. So I went off camera to do most of my eye look, and in case you're curious what I have on, I basically used most of the products from my Korean beauty haul. So if you want to see demos of any of these products, definitely check out that video. But to finish off today's look, I wanted to do a little bit of experimentation since this is my first time trying this product. So I'm going to layer a variety of creams and powders on it. So starting out with creams, I'm going in with my trusty Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. Honestly, ever since I got this, I haven't been able to really use any other cream bronzer. It's just that good. And I'm applying this with my BK Beauty 107 brush. This is my absolute favorite brush to apply this with as well. It's very light and airy, but still has a nice shape to get into the contours of your cheeks. And so as you can see, it just looks very, very natural on the skin. So let's see how it layers on top of this Dior foundation. So far, so good. Basically, what I'm trying to look for is whether the foundation picks up at all, because I'm quite familiar with this product and this brush, and it does not normally disturb foundation. So If there's any issue, it would have to be with the foundation rather than the bronzer. All right, looking good. No issues at all so far. Okay, there we go. Slightly more contoured face. And then I realized we did not put on concealer earlier, so I'm going to go in with my Magic Touch Concealer from ABH. And because I think the coverage is already pretty high, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this under the eyes. I do have some blemishes here, but I think I'm just going to let them breathe for today. So there we go, under eyes slightly brightened and concealed. And before we go into powder, I'm going to also just take some of the Tower 28 Beach Please in Magic Hour and put a little bit of that on both cheeks. Ooh, that's pretty. I think this shade matches very nicely with the eye look today, and overall just gives a really nice natural flush. I love this blush so much. It's one of my all-time favorite blush formulas. And now for powder, I'm going in with my LYS Translucent Setting Powder and my Rephr number 19 brush. And one thing I like to do with new foundations is only powder half of my face, because I'm always curious whether it really needs to be set and how the longevity is without any powder. So I'm going to powder this side of my face and hopefully not powder the rest of it for the rest of today, but we'll see. If when I do my wear test things are looking a little bit too greasy, then I might add powder at that point. All right, so I think you guys can see this side is now definitely mattified in comparison to this side. You got a lot more glow on this side. I do actually really like the finish of this side, especially in person. It looks really healthy and natural. And so we'll see how this wears. So I will use a few more powders now just to finish off this look. So for one, I will use this Romand bronzer and contour. I'm going to use a Rephr number 4 brush and the deeper shade, and just use this on top of where I put that Charlotte Tilbury product earlier. This is gliding very easily on the side that I powdered, but I'm interested in seeing how well this glides on the side without powder and whether it picks up any of that foundation. Okay, so far so good. I'm not seeing any patchiness. Alrighty, that's looking very nice. And to be fair, I am only using products today that I know and love because I don't want to set this up for failure. And going back to my Rephr number 4, I'm going in with this Laura Mercier blush in Ginger. And this is a very similar color to Magic Hour and also to this eyeshadow. So I'm just going to put this on top just to verify that both creams and powders look good over this foundation. So there we go. Very pretty. And to finish off this look, I'm going in with this Laka lip tint. And here we have the completed look. What do you guys think? Let me actually bring you guys closer so we can really take a look at this foundation. So at least for me, I feel like this is looking really, really good so far. My face looks very airbrushed, very perfected. I mean, you can still see my little blemishes over here, but that's understandable given that I didn't use any concealer there. But so far, I think the foundation looks absolutely impeccable, and all of the products really glided on top of it with absolutely no issue, no patchiness whatsoever. So I am very, very pleased with this foundation upon initial application. I will check in though later with you guys today with a wear test update to see how this fares over the course of the day. So it's been around 3 hours since I first put on this makeup, so I wanted to do a quick wear test update for you guys. Overall, I would say the foundation is looking really great on both sides. So immediately after I had put it on, I took a much closer look at my face. And at that point, I did feel like the side with the powder looked a little bit on the dry side, and especially around my nose area was not as flattering. Now though that the day has worn on a little bit and some of my oils have come out, I think both sides look really good. The side with the powder now no longer looks dry at all, and the side without the powder looks a little bit more dewy, but still very good. I think that this is a foundation where if you do have dry skin, you don't necessarily even have to set it with powder. Let me actually take you guys closer and also turn down the brightness a little bit just so you can see a little bit more clearly. So I think you can definitely tell this side of my face has a bit more reflectivity to it, but it definitely doesn't look greasy at all. I did wear a mask earlier today, so you can see some of the blush has worn off because of that. But other than that, the foundation is looking fully intact, really nice. And what I'm loving too is just how natural this looks. Even though it's giving me pretty good coverage, I don't feel like it looks heavy or like I have a bunch of product on my face. And also in terms of how it feels, it really doesn't feel like I have a full face of makeup. I am gonna go on a run now though, so let's see how this fares through the run. So here we are at the end of the day, and it's been about 12 hours since I put on this wear test. So if we return to the claims of this is supposed to be 12-hour wear. And I would say that overall I am quite impressed with how this foundation wore. It was a pretty hot day today. I went on a run, I wore a mask, I went to lunch and dinner, I hung out with friends, I talked a lot. So I feel like a lot of stuff has happened with my makeup, but it's overall looking pretty good considering the circumstances. So let me actually bring you guys in so you can really get a nice close-up on my face. So at this time of day, I do tend to look a little greasy, and so I do think you can see my oils quite clearly at this point. Interestingly enough, I don't see much of a difference between the side with powder on it versus the side that I did not powder. Honestly, in the future, I think with this foundation, I might just wear it without powder. Like I might still powder my T-zone area, but I think it actually looked better after initial application on the side without powder compared to the side with powder. This side just looked a little bit dry and did emphasize a little bit of texture upon initial application, but I feel like they both look about the same now, so it's not like this side had longer lasting wear. Overall, I think my skin still looks very natural and smoothed out. The foundation has worn away a bit around my nose area and this area where I had sunglasses, and also a little bit around my eyes. But that is standard with any foundations that I wear. So overall, this was a really great initial impression about this foundation. I'm really glad I picked this up before they discontinued it. And if you're at all curious about this foundation, I would recommend trying it out. As you saw from the application process, it is a little bit finicky. If they do figure out a way to just make this as a liquid foundation that you don't have to spray out, I would definitely run for that foundation product. But as it stands, this does leave a really beautiful finish. This is unique in comparison to the other foundations I have, so I'm really glad to have this in my collection. So that's it for today's video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to hear in the comments down below what you guys think about this foundation. Have you tried it before? Would you buy a foundation that's in an aerosol container? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!